Odogwu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the IPOB leader, have been vindicated for a record time of 1,855 times, according to Nigeria Bureau of Statistics and also AES, Alliance for Western Sahel Region. They don't come out to say everything where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu they talk for in video. Basara Nigeria say everything say not true. It go shock you because most of you now will begin to say, where did I get this news from? My brother, my sister, Ngwa, let me allow you to watch this our brother where he do the whole analytics and read the documents that supported their claims. When you watch it finish, then we will come back here to discuss more on this very particular matter. As you are watching, Biko, do me a favor. Use your right hand and your left hand, including your left leg and your right leg. Ngwato sa message here, let it reach Onyuku and Onyentanti. Che, me and Dongribo. Anyway, Ngwa, let us go there. This one is news mixed with the comedy. You get the point now, eh? Ngwa, let us watch it now, before it is too late. Nnamdi Kanu have been vindicated for the obtained times. That guy is a hero. Oh yeah, let's
48 hours. This very information or news has been on the internet space, but unfortunately, it is not trending. I have wondered, why is this news not making headlines on the Nigeria mainstream media? Maybe some persons doesn't want this information to fly. But here we are to do justice to them. Exactly on the 30th of September 2025, the Confederation of the Sahel State, which is also known as Alliance of Sahel States, which is comprised of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, who came together exactly on the 16th of September 2023 to form a security pact that gave birth to the Alliance of Sahel States. That is to say that these three countries continues to share security intelligences together. As we speak, they are on a mission to wipe out insecurity from the Sahel region. And do not also forget that these three countries have pulled out of the ECOWAS bloc. That is to say that they are currently former members of the ECOWAS. And the governing template in these three countries are currently being controlled by the juntas. Do not forget that all these three countries have all passed through, military coup, which led them to where they are today. A typical example is that of the Burkina Faso. After the successful, military coup, General Ibrahim Traore became the current, what you can call the president of Burkina Faso in the material world of today. Now, here are the deals. In the joint addresses that was held by these three countries, exactly on that same 30th of September 2025, precisely in Niamey, in Niger, these three countries revealed that they currently have in their possession lists of high and mighty politicians and individuals who are responsible, who have over time been sponsoring insecurity across the northwest Nigeria, across the Sahel region, and across other parts of Africa. They maintain that they have this very list in their possessions and will make it public as soon as possible, even though in that very joint addresses they went further to mention a few names of persons in Nigeria, which will eventually put you in a shock because of the names of the high-profile individuals that was mentioned in that very joint addresses. They equally made it public that they have arrested gun runners, those who are into gun businesses across northwest Nigeria, across the Sahel region, and other parts of Africa. They have arrested, some of them, and they confessed to the crime and revealed names of persons behind their heinous, illicit businesses across Africa. Well, good people of Nigeria, in that very joint addresses, the three presidents of these very three nations were all present. General Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, General Abdourahmane Tichani of Niger, and the General Assimi Goïta of Mali. They were all present and they gave their own account of the presentation during that very joint addresses. Let's take it bit by bit. So, according to that very publication, which was originally in Hausa language, Some of them were, translated by Zagazola Makama, who is a security expert in the Lake Chad across Africa. He is also a security analyst and counter-insurgency expert. So these very addresses were recovered through the help of Grok, through the help of AI, because most of their publications through DW Hausa goes in their native languages. So, according to Colonel Assimi Goita of Mali, brothers and sisters of the Sahel, friends across Africa, and the world watching this betrayal unfold, good morning, good evening. Tonight, we don't come with empty words or diplomatic niceties. We come with evidence, with names, with the blood of our people on our hands and the ghost of villages burned to ash. For too long, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have stood shoulder to shoulder against the jihad's Hydra, Boko Haram, ISWAP, the shadows that slither across our borders. We have lost sons and daughters in the thousands, our economy is gutted, our children orphaned, and yet, as we bleed, we have uncovered a poison at the heart of it all. Nigeria politicians, those suited wolves in Abuja feeding the very monsters we fight. He went further to say, let me paint it for you plainly like a story around the fire. Imagine a man in a grand office sipping tea from a cup bought with our suffering's coin. He wires funds not to schools or clinics, but to arms dealers in the desert. He turns a blind eye to convoys crossing the border, loaded with AKs and RPGs stamped made in Nigeria. Why? Power. Votes from the fearful. Land grabs in the north. We've got the bank records, the satellite tracks, the confession from captured Korea who sang like birds under our lamps. These are not whispers. These are ledgers. Then, according to General Abdurrahmani Tichani of Niger, he wrote in that joint address, Assimi speaks truth, and I will add the grit of it in Niger. We have buried 2,000 soldiers since the coup that freed us from foreign puppeters. Our intelligence shared with no one but our alliance of Sahel states brothers has mapped it out. A senator from Kano, pockets lined with oil money, funnels cash through Hawala network to ISWAP cells hitting our uranium mines. A governor in Borno, he is the architect of peace deals that arm the very bandit raiding our markets. And don't get me started on the retired generals turned consultants. They train these dogs in camps just south of Lake Chad, then pocket ECOWAS grants for counter-terrorism. We laughed bitterly when Nigeria Chief of Defense Staff General Musa boasted last month about unmasking sponsors. Unmasking? Ha! He is looking in the mirror. Our agencies, Burkina's, Mali's, ours have compiled a dossier thicker than the Bible. Names: Atiku Abubakar's shadowy donors linked, Tinubu's northern allies implicated, even the APC chieftain who cheered our sanctions while their jet dropped pallets over the border. We have held back one of the African Brotherhood, but no more. By week's end, we will release it all. Redacted for the innocent, unsparing for the guilty. Interpose on speed dial. Immediately, the room where these addresses were being read erupted in murmurs. Traore leans in, his eyes like coals. Then Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso, continued by saying, listen close, Nigeria, our big brother turned Judas. You lecture us on democracy while your elite bankrolled AK-47s, killing our farmers. In Burkina, we have got mass graves with bullets from Lagos factories. We have intercepted calls, send the boys north, and the elections coming. This is not geopolitics, it is treason against Africa. The Sahel rises united. We invite honest Nigerians, soldiers, journalists, youth to join us, defeat, testify. But to the sponsors, your villas in Abuja won't shield you. Your private jets to London, grounded. The people know now. To ECOWAS, to the AU, wake up. This cancer spreads from Nigeria's elite to our sons. We have endured your sanctions, your isolations. Now we expose Mali, Niger, Burkina. We fight for a Sahel free of terror, not fueled by it. And Nigeria, heal thyself or step aside. The desert does not forgive anyone. The desert does not forgive no one. This was how Ibrahim Traore, ended his addresses. The desert does not forgive no one. It's a very deep statement. Well, if you have been following me in this channel, you would have realized my stand on the insecurity in Nigeria. I said no president has ever come to this country to fight insurgency, insecurity as promised, and ended up doing the job that is expected. Since after Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who would have, decisively, do what needed to be done, either gradually or fiercely, to end insecurity. But his administration was politicized by the same APC government. And then the campaign that Buhari was coming as a messiah to deal with insecurity. At this point, it is safe to say to all Nigerians that without Boko Haram, Buhari may not have won that election of 2015. Without Boko Haram, without the advent of Boko Haram in the scene, it would have been very difficult. And this is why many people, allegedly have linked the, the emergence of Boko Haram to the APC government. Many Nigerians have done that. And if you listen carefully to these very speeches from these very three presidents, you will begin to have a reason to believe some of those things that has been alleged over time. I also remember that some years ago, United Arab Emirates released names of Boko Haram sponsors in Nigeria. I'm pretty sure the questions on the lips of many Nigerians would be, what did the government of the day do with those names? We live in a country where rascality thrives, where corruption, high-handedness, where corruption is deeply rooted in the heart and minds of many Nigerians, not just the politicians. And it has become very difficult. And this is one of the reasons I've always believed that until we have men and women of impeccable character, especially as number one president of this country, people who does not have any single interest in the treasuries of Nigeria, that is the only time we will have transparency in dealing with insecurity. But with the type of calibers of people we have now, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. But at least let the Alliance of Sahel State release this name so that we know them, so that we know who they are. It is important that they release that name. You will see. You see how they mentioned the article shadowy donors, APC chieftains, as well as Tinubu Northern allies. Who are these people? So let the Sahel State release this name so that at least Nigerians will have a transparency on that once more. Even though many Nigerians already have an idea of the dynamics and the sponsors of terrorism and insecurity in Nigeria, but at least that will give us another opportunity to call out the government of the day. Well, at this point, I will allow you guys to be the judge. Don't forget to let me know what you think in the comment section and share this video. Man, another person see him. God bless.
You have watched the clip finish. Mwah. Here are other news in details. Alliance of Sahel States, which is AES, Intelligence, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger prepares for release names of senior Nigerian politicians sponsoring bandits and terrorism across northwest Nigeria and the Sahel regions. Your mansions in Abuja will not save you, and the desert doesn't forgive, says Captain Ibrahim Traore. I like that word, the desert never forgive. The reason why this so-called insecurity in Nigeria, the banditry, the terrorism is still flourishing is because the people who are sponsoring it are right there in Abuja. And they will even join the security meeting. You know, say they say, they have security meeting. They will be in the midst of security meeting. And they will also provide solution on how to tackle the insecurity. But behind profiling the solution, they will then go behind the back and tell their boys how to operate, when to operate, and when not to operate. Because the system already map out how to eliminate them. So you can see, when they infiltrate their military, their police, in fact, their security architecture, what do you expect? Tomorrow, a Boko Haram member, even a chief of army staff said, if they drop their weapons, according to them, this is the words of their own, that if bandits drop their weapons, that tomorrow, they will even get chance to become the president of Nigeria. My brother, Now, so we see one Aboki, a terrorist for that matter, they be initiated into the army with a high rank. When they tell him to salute like this, he's saluting like this. When they tell him to salute like this, he looked the other way. That is the kind of military they have now. So tell me, people who keep on integrating terrorists into their military, into their security architecture, tell me how are they going to succeed as a country? United Arab Emirates released over 400 names of people who are in Abuja sponsoring terrorism. Buhari took it, in fact, squeeze it, burn it, and throw it into the ash. In fact, they burned that list into the abyss. Tinubu came and continued from where he stopped. Yes, I know that whatever that happened in the north are being carried out by the northerners to frustrate every government that is not of them. But I can tell you for free of charge. I can tell you this for free of charge. That is the reason why Tinubu don't want to listen to them. But what about the one happening in Kwara, Ilorin? That is the issue, because that is part of Yoruba's boundary. So what about the one happening? What about the one happening in Oyo? If he claimed to have a deaf ear in the one that happened in the north, because that is their style. Each time Southerner is a president, then what happened is the one happening inside his own territory. That is the question we all need to ask Tinubu. Let him come out with answers. But that, by the way, why this news self is very, very important to us, the Biafran, the Igbo nation, is because this video have vindicated the reason why that zoo called Nigeria need to disintegrate for humanity's sake. To save human lives, my brother, Nigeria need to be divided. Whether they do it by force or they do it in peace or they do it in pieces, Okulora here, I don't care how they do it. But the gospel truth remains, Nigeria must disintegrate, whether they like it or not. And that is the message I brought to my people this very hour. Today is Friday, TGIF. Thank God saying a Friday with day. And as you are watching this video, I know you are having one Odeku in your right hand or your left hand. As you are watching, please, as you are holding one Odeku in your right hand, please use your left hand to share this message. If you are holding the Odeku, or my friend Udeme is a great man in your left hand, Mwawere your right hand, share this message. Everybody need to get hold of it. There is no hidden place for evil people. Since the zoo say they cannot do it, the alliance of Sahel states don't come out and say they could do arm on their own. Say they could do arm on their own. Say Nigeria are the ones. They even say that the bullets that have been captured in Niger are being manufactured in Lagos, Nigeria. Are being manufactured in Lagos, Nigeria. Most of the ammunitions. You can imagine. Look at it. Because you cannot tell me the only people who are qualified to sell or buy equipments, ammunitions of any type, is government. But they found out that all these people, they have countless of even RFMG rocket launchers that nothing these people do not have. Who is supplying them all those things? Government. Tomorrow they will tell you they map out total billions of naira to equip the military. They will go and buy the equipment, fine and good. The countries will sell them equipment because the one they are manufacturing. And then they will divide it into three. One, we go to the bandit free of charge. Another one again, we still go to the bandit, but it will be in the form of, hey, they attacked us and they neutralize our men and collect it. Then the remaining little one that remains, or rather, the remaining the third part of it, will then be sent to Biafra land, to southeast. Let them be using it to be buying the southeast. That is how Nigeria have been programmed. And somebody tell me that I have to support that nonsense of a country. No, let me just read a little bit of comments from my people here, and then we'll round up this show. Because as Yawa Ugo, Berego Nambabu, Yawa Ugo, Oberego Nambabu. Well, let's go there. We Baro Benefit said, why diplomacy have its place? Nigeria's escalating crisis, insurgency, economic instability, and more necessitates radical solutions. I call on all who care about our nation's future to join a revolution aimed at addressing these entrenched issues. For years, I have maintained that Nigeria's challenges go beyond poor governance, pointing instead of systematic force, undermining our future. The fight for real changes continues. A luta continue. Victoria Asata. Victoria Asata. No problem. Benjamin said, no matter how long the night might seem, there must be dawn of the day. The chiefs are already down. Anyway, Joshua says, sir, this your shirt. Fine, oh, send and come. Make me self look good. Ew. Anyway, get out bonye. Ebony said the whole picture in the background is not just a picture. It tells a mighty story. Not all understand this picture, bro. I do. Okay. Amos Benga said, I too like you, brother. Your sense is different from content alone. Abi? Ambassador Yusi said, nice one, bro. VDM supposed to see this video. Abeg, make on a tagamo so that Ingo also contribute his own. Anyway, my people, let me not talk too much or take much of your time reading this. I want to hear your own opinion at the comment section of this video. As you're watching, please make sure you share the video to your next door neighbor, so that as you are watching, let them watch, whether it's good news or bad news. But for the fact that there is something to learn from that video, my brother, share it with your right hand and your left hand. That's the only thing I can tell you for now. Happy Friday to you once again. It shall be well with you, all of you. In this weekend, my brother, you can never be a victim, but rather you will be a victor. Yes, you will be more than a conqueror, and nothing that is going to come close to you. You will celebrate this weekend and continue the hustle from Monday. And so shall it be upon your life and upon your family. Kachineke jike niile gozi onye ukwu gozikwa onye nta ka o mere anyị amara mezuo onye niile nke anyị na-ayọ ya n'afa Nna na Nwa na nke Mmụọ Nsọ. Ise